Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to do a tutorial on how I draw mouths, and this is the way I usually draw mouths. They're stylized and they're not really realistic. It's more of like a cartoony stylized version of a mouth, but I'm just going to kind of show you how I draw them. So there's three main parts of lips. There's of course the top lip, the bottom, the corners, and where these meet. So where the top lip and the bottom lip meet together, the corners, and then under bottom lip. Those are like the main things that these are like the things that are kind of dark. These are the things that are darker than everything else. The top lip tends to be darker than the bottom lip if the light is coming from above, because the light will hit the bottom lip, but since the top lip kind of turns inwards, it tends to be darker. And the corners are pretty dark too, because it's where two things are meeting, and where two things touch each other there's a dark line, and where the lips meet together is dark as well. And there's kind of like a point in between the top lip and the bottom lip, like a little dip like that, kind of, because the top lip does that. And that I like to make that the darkest point and kind of phase towards the corners, and then the corners get darker. And underneath the bottom lip, there's a line, and that catches the shadow, because your bottom lip kind of sticks out, and that casts a shadow onto your chin. And the first thing you should do is look at a reference of mouths, just so you can kind of get an idea of the general shape of them. But this is like how I stylize them. This is my simple way of breaking it down to draw, and it took me a while to kind of get the hang of it, but if you practice, you can find your own way of drawing mouths fairly easily in your sketches. These are like how I sketch them out. So basically, I like to do the general line first. So let's just say this is a smile, and I like to make the corners of the mouth kind of turn upwards like this. You can really have fun with the corners of the mouth. That's one of my favorite parts to draw. And I like to make the middle darker than the rest. And then this needs to be even darker. I'm going to use my mechanical pencil to darken that. Make the corners darker and kind of fade that out. And then I like to make the top lip. It kind of comes up. Every person's lips are different. You can make these as full or as narrow as you want, but the top lip, sometimes I like to make it very round like this. And it gets lighter as it comes towards the corners. That's just the way I draw it. So it's darkest in the middle, and then it kind of gets lighter outwards. But you can also make the top lip have this sort of mountain kind of thing, like bump, and do it that way. So you can really play around with the shape of the top lip. Make that darker again. Hi. Please, shh. You're being loud. You might hear my dog in the background. She's in here sleeping. Okay, so you can make the top of it kind of go like that. This is kind of huge. This is kind of a large lip. Or you can make it round like this. Most of my lips, I just make it round because I'm just sketching and I'm not doing too many details, but this is how lips normally look. And then underneath the bottom lip, I like to kind of go in the center and make a dark line there. Should be a bit darker. I like to make it fade out like that. And then kind of in the middle of the lip here would be your highlight. So like around there would be your highlight, and it kind of catches the light at the widest part of the lip. So I make this part darker and fade into that, and make under here dark and fade into that. So it's kind of light in the middle. And I don't like to do too much over here. I like to leave that a little bit lighter than the rest. And of course, underneath the bottom lip will be a shadow too. And then I kind of redefine the corners. And the best thing about lips is you can really play around with the shape of them. Once you understand how they work, you can make every character's lips slightly different. I don't know if I necessarily do that, but it's fun to play around with the shape of them. And I'm just gonna like kind of talk you through other kinds of lips you can draw. Like you could do ones that are more like pouty, or like kind of like this, where the top lip goes like this, like a big bump like that, and I like to shade in the top lip and the bottom lips like that. And I'm going to darken everything with my mechanical pencil because the lead is softer, so it writes darker. And I like to make the corner here a bit thicker because it's almost as if you're, I don't really know how to describe this, but this is like another pose of lips. And if you want, you can even take a white gel pen or white paint or something to make a little highlight in the middle of the lip if you wanted to. I'm gonna do some in color so you might be able to see it a bit better. So if you have a mouth that's kind of half open, there's like this little dip that happens here and then it goes down like that. This is the inside of the mouth and it kind of goes to the corner. This is the mouth being open, and the teeth, I like to make dark where they touch the lip, light in the middle and dark again. And the bottom lip kind of goes like that. The bottom line there. And the top lip I like to shade in, as always. And you can even like show the tongue. The inside of the mouth should be fairly dark. And this is underneath the lip. I'm shading it in. I don't know if that's like legible. You can tell what's going on, but like the nose would be up here, maybe a little bit too high, and the chin's down here. If you can kind of tell what's going on there. This needs to be a bit darker. And that's kind of like a half open mouth showing the top teeth. And there's also one, say someone's going like that kind of, I don't really know how else to describe this, like a grimace or a cringe or something. Make the top round, like bend upwards, and make the bottom kind of bend upwards like that. So the bottom lip is kind of bent up. And for teeth, if they're closed, I like to do a little line and fade it out. I might continue that on the other side. And then make the bottom lip kind of like follow the line of that. Shade it, but leave the middle lighter because that's where the highlight is. There wouldn't really be a corner here if the edges of the mouth are rounded. A lot of these make more sense if they're actually on a face. Just drawing them without a face is kind of hard to tell what's going on. Basically the one I'm trying to show is this one. If I drew in the nose, that might make it a bit easier to tell. You could do a frowning one, like start off with the middle. I like to do the corner and kind of do the middle and make the corners kind of turned a bit down if they're frowning. You can really play around with the expressions. Depending on where you put the corners, that has a lot to do with the expression and just like the size of the mouth and everything like that. And if you wanted an open mouth, let's see if I can actually manage to do this. So a good thing to do is look up a reference photo or take a picture of yourself. So if you don't really know how the teeth are going to be positioned. So for this one, the basic shape is kind of wide at the top and there's a little corner here and the mouth kind of goes out and goes up like this. That might be actually sticking out too far. And there's teeth up here. And the tongue is kind of like that, and there's a bit of teeth showing here, but not much. I'm gonna erase a little bit, even though this blue pencil is not very erasable. This is just a Prismacolor color erase that I'm using. And you can draw the lip under that if you wanted to, and the top lip. But I like to make the edge of it a bit darker than the lip itself. And if you want, you can even draw the line of the tongue. Like, you know how the tongue kind of has a line down the middle? Just depends on how cartoony or realistic you want to go, I guess. And then say this is the nose. Just a quick nose. It's kind of what it looks like. And there'd be a little highlight there. That's kind of like an open mouth. I don't think I did the teeth that well. They would kind of continue that way. Let's get my gel pen. Like, you don't have to show the bottom teeth. Like, you can have a half open mouth that's kind of like this, just like a little O, and the top teeth are here. You can even do kind of a corner for this one. Shade in the top lip, make the tongue, and the bottom lip. You can just like kind of get creative with the shape of the lip. Okay, that one's not very Let's fix that a little bit. Oh, let's also do a bit of lips from the side. So say this is the nose. I like to make the top lip, like shade it in and do the corner and come out with the bottom lip. And it's kind of like a little ledge. It's kind of like a, I don't really know, like you have to look at your face or take a picture of your face sideways in the mirror, and there's like a little ledge here and then the chin. And you can shade it and kind of make it dark where they both meet. And that's kind of a profile view of the lips. So I hope you found this helpful. This is how I draw lips. I hope I explained everything well. I just kind of talked you through my thought process that goes through my head when I draw them. I hope you could see everything pretty well, and I hope I did enough variety. So yeah, I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.